Hey, boys and girls, it's Miss Mangoni. Today is Friday, and you know what that means.
TGIF.
Thank goodness it's Friday. Yes, oh my gosh, we haven't heard that in so long, boys and girls. But yes, today is Friday. This is your last ELA lesson of the week. And I decided to take it easy on you guys since the last couple of times I had a lot to say and a lot to tell you. So that's not what we're going to do today. I promise you it's going to be easy-ish review for you and something that won't take us too much time on the video. Okay, so if you can see on the screen right there, we are looking at vocabulary and letter writing today. I'm putting these two together because writing a good letter, writing anything well, requires that you have a good vocabulary. And so today we're going to look at the piece of vocabulary of synonyms and antonyms, right? So we're going to do a little bit of word work around that, and then we will wrap it up. Sound good? All right, let's get started. I think what I want to say first, before I forget, is I'm so proud of you guys for how you've been working this week and the last couple of weeks. Definitely, I've talked with your teachers, and it seems like you guys are getting better about watching the videos, which is the whole point of what we're doing here, and getting your work turned in and doing your rewrites and your recalculations if you have to, but really trying to give your best. And so I thank you for that. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you. All right, let's get started. I have a quick little video to show you on synonyms and antonyms. And then we'll talk a little bit more about why they're important, why we use them. And also, I think the video will go into this a little bit more, but it'll talk about homonyms also, which I know Mrs. Broderick did a great job of in the first week. So that's why I'm not going to talk about that, but we'll skip to synonyms and antonyms. So let's get busy and check out our video, shall we? Let's make it bigger.
Thank you. Ow. A bagel with locks. That's pretty funny. Dear Tim and Moby, what's the difference between a synonym, an antonym, and a homonym? From Gulgul. Let's take care of homonyms first. Homonyms are pairs of words that have different meanings, but are spelled or pronounced the same. Homonyms that sound the same are called homophones. Homonyms that are spelled the same are called homographs. Let's take the three words bass, base, and base. Bass and base are homographs. They're spelled the same, but they have different meanings. Base and base are homophones. They sound the same, but have different spellings and meanings. Well, you can usually tell which homophone the speaker means by listening to the rest of the sentence. If I say, I slid into third base, can you tell which of the two homophones I mean? That's right, it's B-A-S-E. Synonyms aren't so confusing. They're just words that mean the same thing, like gigantic and huge. Both words are adjectives meaning big. They're what we call synonymous. You try it. Let's take the word brave. Which of these three words is a synonym for brave? Let's look at intelligent. It means the same thing as smart, which isn't synonymous with brave. On to dangerous. Dangerous describes something that might cause loss or injury, so we can cross that off. We're left with courageous. Courageous describes a person ready to face danger. That sounds synonymous with brave, don't you think? That's true. There can be more than two synonyms, just like there can be more than two homonyms. I can think of lots of synonyms for brave, like gutsy, fearless, and bold. I was just getting to that. Antonyms are words that mean the opposite of each other. Like, say, fast and slow. Stop and go. Love and hate. Just like synonyms, any word can have lots of antonyms. Let's take the adjective clean. You can probably think of a ton of antonyms for clean, like dirty, filthy, grimy, dusty, foul, muddy, unwashed. The list goes on and on. Yeah, you're right. Words that mean opposite things can be called antonymous to each other. It's not as commonly used as the word synonymous, though. By the way, can I please have my bagel with L-O-X now? Kinda hungry here. You're trying to think of a homonym for bagel, aren't you?
All right. So like I said, boys and girls, this is a review for you. I thought I'd give you just a cute little video. I love brain pop videos and I like those two guys together. But let's talk a little bit about why synonyms and antonyms are important and why it matters for your writing, especially what we're going to do today. Let me get this up big. Yeah, that's much better. I like it when I can see it. Okay, so we're looking at synonyms and antonyms, why they're important. There are tons of reasons why they're important, boys and girls, but I just picked out 5 just to give you quickly. First of all, knowing synonyms and antonyms improve your vocabulary. How is that? Well, the second thing, it gives you way more ways to say the same thing, right? So if I know the word good, and then I know 7 synonyms for it and 7 antonyms, then I can pick any of those 14 words, depending on what I'm writing and how I'm writing it, to say the same thing. And when you're looking at synonyms and antonyms, it kind of can help you know multiple meanings of words, right? If you think about the word cool, or well, let's look at smart. Let's think about smart. So there used to be this phrase that, oh my goodness, he's a smart dresser, right? So my grandma used to say that all the time. Well, we know the word smart can mean intelligent, but that doesn't make sense if I'm trying to do the opposite of that. So I wouldn't say, gosh, that person's an unintelligent dresser, right? That wouldn't make sense. But when we say smart dresser, the way we're using smart in that sentence is that they're fashionable or they're cool or however we would say it today, right? So if you know the multiple meanings of words, it kind of helps you understand what you're reading. And because a lot of times reading cannot be enjoyable if you don't understand what you're reading. And a lot of that sometimes comes from just not knowing what words mean. But if you know synonyms and antonyms, you kind of can work your way around that and get a better idea, which is going to increase your comprehension. And finally, this one is important to us today. It makes your writing come alive and it becomes more vivid for your readers. So when someone is reading something, they're not bored by your words. You're using those big fancy words sometimes, and sometimes they're not big and fancy, but they're just different than the same old words that we hear all the time, right? So I think that's important for us to look at. So that is your quick review of synonyms and antonyms. We're going to use them a little bit later when we work on our letter writing. And I know that in our benchmark this year, we had to write letters. It was early on in the year, but it's definitely something that we've done in all of the classes. So I know that, and we've talked about what the parts of a letter are that we need to have. I'm just going to review those quickly with you. So, when you get to your assignment today, you will have all of that kind of in your head, right? So this is just a little something that I worked up earlier today. It's not fancy or anything like that, but it gives us a chance to look at what's in a friendly letter, because that's what we're going to write today. So the first thing that you see here, and boys and girls, if you are in my class, you know how much I love color, how much I love to color code things and try to make things pop, right? That's just kind of part of my personality. I use a lot of charts with a lot of color. And so I've kind of color coded this for you so you can keep that in mind when you're working on your letter today. The first thing that you have to have, boys and girls, is the date. People have to know when you're writing this letter, right? And because sometimes if you actually send a letter in the mail, it can take a little bit longer to get there, but it's important to know what day, month, and year it has happened, right? And then right here in the orange, we have our greeting or salutation. And that's just how you are starting off your letter when you're talking to someone. The thing to remember here is your punctuation. After your greeting, there's always a comma. So mine says, "Dear Mom and Dad, thank you so much for dinner last night. I always like it when you make spaghetti and meatballs. It's my favorite. I'm excited that Eric and I get to cook tonight. I hope you like liver and onions. Love, Tara." Okay? So this blue part here is my body, right? I bet you guys remember that. And then love, sometimes you'll see sincerely, but I'm writing to my mom and dad, right? So I love them, right? So this is my closing. And then finally you end with your signature. And that's why, so people know who the letter's from, right? Pretty basic stuff, boys and girls, that I think that most of you remember. So we won't have to dwell on that too much. We can take a look at a sample letter that I wrote for you guys today, so that you can have an idea of what this might look like. Okay? So I want to talk to you first about what your assignment is, so you can see how my letter fits. Okay? You have two parts of your assignment, but we're going to focus on this part 2 right here. I said, imagine your parents have told you that for your end of the stay at home family vacation, they are taking you to visit one of the 7 natural wonders. You'd be very lucky if that happened. But each family member gets a vote. But there's a twist. You must write them a letter explaining to them which of the 7 natural wonders you do not want to visit. Make sure that you have 2 reasons why you do not want to visit the wonder in your letter. Use information from our readings this week, which you can find in all of the videos this week, and this website. Because if you remember, we only did 5 of the 7 wonders, and so you missed a couple. So you missed Rio de Janeiro Harbor and Aurora Borealis, which we know more commonly as the Northern Lights. Okay, so I've chosen to write about the Northern Lights. And so here's what my letter looks like. And you can see this link right here, boys and girls. It's a link to a brief summary of all 7 of the natural wonders of the world. And so I'm just going to pop over there really fast so you can see what it looks like. So this is the page for what they call Aurora Borealis, which is the proper name, but we call it the Northern Lights. I think they are beautiful, right? Definitely something that my eyes want to see, right? But it was hard for me to come up with a couple of reasons why I might not want to go there, even though it's really pretty. If you look here, boys and girls, you can see there's a lot of snow, right? Because there are certain places that it's easier for you to see the Northern Lights from. We're not going to see those here in Albuquerque, right? So you do have to travel north. It's actually one of those things that's in a weird place, but you can read about that later. But the point is, there's a lot of snow. I don't like snow. Don't like it. Well, I like to look at it when I'm at home in my house, nice and warm and snuggly and cuddly, but probably not someplace I'm signing up really fast to go visit is a place that's full of snow, right? So that's one thing. So now I've already read this before, right? So I've read it, which is what you should do. I've learned a little bit about the Northern Lights, and I found another reason why I don't really want to go. And so I will not read this to you because I don't really need to, because there's a link there for you. So let's look at my letter that I came up with. Okay, I'm going to make it big so we can hopefully see it all at once. Okay. So again, it's color-coded. I put my date. There it is. Now, what I want you to pay attention to, boys and girls, is how I have written in detail about certain things. Because remember, this is a letter that you're writing to your parents. They're giving you this great vacation. I want you to think about how that might make you feel and some things that you might want to say to them in the letter. The whole point isn't just to say, I don't want to go here because of this and because of this, right? When you write a letter to someone, you kind of want to let them know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what's happening with you in your life. And so in this letter to your parents, well, it's imaginary, but in this letter to your parents, I want you to be descriptive and to think about what it might feel like, okay? So I said, Dear Mom and Dad, thank you so much for taking us all on a family vacation. It has been a long time since we've been able to go anywhere fun. I can't believe we get to go to one of the 7 natural wonders. When we learned about them, I thought they would be cool to visit. Well, there's one that I don't think I want to visit, the Northern Lights. Even though it's pretty, one thing I wouldn't like is not being sure that we could see them while we were there. That would definitely not be cool. Another reason I wouldn't want to go there is the weather. The best times to visit the places where you can see the Northern Lights are the colder months, like April, May, September, and October. I don't want us to freeze. Those are just a couple of reasons why I wouldn't want to go visit the Northern Lights. But no matter where we go, I'll be happy. Love, Tara. Okay? So this is a pretty simple letter, boys and girls. When you write yours, I would like you to give me at least 2 paragraphs, like you see here. And remember, you have to have your 2 reasons. So remember I was talking about synonyms and antonyms. One thing I was looking at when I wrote this is this line right here. I thought they would be cool to visit. We say cool all the time, right? What else can I say there? What else can I say? I'm going to highlight that word. I'm going to go up here to tools. And you see dictionary right here, boys and girls. When I click on the dictionary, it pops up over here and there are definitions and there are synonyms and there's some antonyms too. So if you're writing and you get stuck and you say what I like to call a boring word like cool, you can open your dictionary in your tools and then you have this here. But you can also go to another resource, but you'll see that on your actual assignment. So what I'm looking for cool is something that's exciting, right? So the first definition, at a fairly low temperature, not the cool I'm talking about. So that one doesn't matter to me. I'm going to scoot down to number 2, showing no friendliness toward a person or enthusiasm for an idea or project. No. Still not what I'm looking for. Fashionably attractive or impressive. Ah, yeah, I like that. Look at all of these ways, boys and girls, to say cool. This one I thought was particularly interesting, on fleek. I know that's what the young people used to say, right? So I am going to use impressive. So I'm going to close that out. I want to change this word because I want my writing to sound really good. So I thought they would be impressive to visit. Ah, that sounds good, right? So when you're writing, boys and girls, I want you to read this a number of times, look at it. Again, see if there are different words that you can use that will make your writing come alive. There are a few other places in here where I could change some words, even though it's pretty, right? I could come up with a way more vivid word for pretty. So before you turn it into your teachers, that's something I really want you to do, okay? So that's pretty much it, what we have for letter writing. I want to review your assignment and show you one thing that you need to know and to really pay attention to on your other part of your assignment. I will do this and make it big. Okay, so using the word box below, choose a synonym and an antonym for each word in the second column. If you need help, use thesource.com. That was the other source or resource that I was telling you about. So please pay attention to what you're doing, boys and girls. You're looking at the word that's in the middle, then you're looking in the word box, and you're going to find a synonym and put it here, an antonym and put it here. Then you're not going to use it again. So I'll do immense real fast. I know what immense means. So I know that a synonym for immense is huge, right? So I'm going to write that here. An antonym for huge would be the opposite of that. And I see the word tiny right here. So we are going to go ahead and put tiny right there. And then you're going to finish filling that in, okay? I have been talking to my class quite a bit about making sure that they read and follow the directions, and especially those that are in the videos, and really those that are in front of you. Boys and girls, it's really important that you do that. So I'm going to leave you now. I want you boys and girls to have a wonderful weekend and take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.